Okay, so I've been seeing people doing these Middle Eastern fragrance collections, and I've been like, oh wow, yeah, that's nice. And then in my head, I kept saying, yeah, you really don't have that many Middle Eastern fragrances, so you really can't do a collection, right? That's what's been in my head. And then I said, well, let me look around and see what I have. And then I started looking around, and it was like, you lying to yourself. You actually do have a Middle Eastern collection of fragrances. Because to be quite honest, some of them, I have bought a couple things and been like, no, I'm not feeling you. So that's why I kind of thought to myself that I really don't have a lot, but then I do. In the LuuLuu fashion, I have quite a few, so we're gonna go over them. I'm gonna do quick. We're not gonna spend a whole lot of time on them because it's more than I expected. Let's go through. Hello. So now we're going to talk about this first one, right? And the reason why this is going first, because I just did this collection video, so I don't feel like, so I can stop this video for a minute, put these all away, and go on to the next part of the collection. So we're going to do these first. First, I'm going to talk about each brand and any information I can find out about them. And I was quite surprised because I forgot certain brands were actually Middle Eastern. So let's go with this one first. We're going to talk about the Attar Collection. That is my latest obsession of a collection. And I'm not going to go into these per se. I'm just going to pull them up, let you see what they are, because I'm doing the whole, I have a video of these, which will probably come up right after you all see this Middle Eastern fragrance one. So then that means that you need to be looking out for that one. And if you haven't put your notification bell on, you need to be doing that on this channel. Why? Because I'm coming with the heat, y'all. I am coming with the content. All video, everything. Come on now. So anyway, the Attar Collection is out of the UAE. They've been around since 2015. They don't have many fragrances. Well, it says it has 34 fragrances in their fragrance, in the Fragrantica They have 34 fragrances in the Fragrantica fragrance base database. However, when I went on their, because I went on their website looking at their stuff, they don't have a lot available right now. And so that's when they started. So they've been around since 2015, about 6 years. Now, here are all the ones that I have, of course. I have Hayati. This is a fruit salad for your fruit salad. Perfect for the summertime. So I'm going to say right now, like I said, y'all going to get the quickies. This is the Queen of Sheba right here. This is Good Girl Gone Bad on steroids. Love it. This one, if y'all don't know I like this one, y'all ain't been watching my videos recently. This is Caltat Night. Blue bottle is stunning. Cherry cinnamon pastry. That's all I'm going to say. This one is Al Rayhan. Still trying to figure this one out. But this has got like a citrus zing and fruit. It's like a fruit. It's another fruity one. But it's got this citrus zing to it. Not working on this one, but you'll see what I think about it in my actual collection on these. Next up, then we have Crystal Love for Her. Milk chocolate fruity goodness. That's all I'm gonna say. Milk chocolate fruity goodness. Very gourmand. This is a stunning, delicious gourmand. And then we have Musk Cashmere. And this is just a really very simple yet elegant gardenia based musk. That's it. So that is my Attar collection. Oops. All right, next up is Swiss Arabian. Now, Swiss Arabian was started in 1974. It's out of UAE also by a man called Mr. Hussein Adam Ali, who was a visionary young man from Yemen. I'm reading off of what they said about them. With a wealth of knowledge and a deep passion for perfumery. So that's Swiss Arabian. They've actually changed their name here in in the United States as of like the last week or two. I can't remember what they're calling themselves now. If anybody knows, could you put it in the comments for me? Because I got a thing about they changed their name and I can't remember what it's called now. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about them. Now, to be quite honest, most of the Swiss Arabians I've purchased, I got rid of. They're very hit or miss. And honestly, this is real talk. If you hear people talking about those are probably the ones you want to try, because I find that they're not that great. Just being honest, the ones that I tried, maybe I didn't understand notes as well also. So I was just willy-nilly because I was like, ooh, these Middle Eastern ones are inexpensive. Let me try some more. So let me just put that out there. And then I tried Shagaf Oud. Shagaf Oud, I no longer have. I did own it. I sold it off only because I have Lancome's Oud Bouquet, and I'm not one of the people who I feel like I need to keep everything. And so I just decided, you know, I'll just go on and let somebody else try it because people are always looking for it. And if I ever want it back again, I'll get it. Honestly, I'm probably going to buy another bottle of Lancome's Oud Bouquet because I have the original and now I want the newer reformulation. So I don't need 2 bottles. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about the Swiss Arabians that I actually own. And the first one is Casablanca. You know, I had to get this. This was the talk of 2019. This was the talk of 2019. Everybody was talking about how this was appley, caramely. Oh, it was so good. It's got little grapes in it. It's very good, I will say. Do I wear it a lot? No. And part of the reason why is because if I want that kind of appley kind of vibe, I have some that I like a little bit better than this. So this is like number 3 in my apples. I have a video ranking these on my other channel. Maybe I'll put it in the description box. But anyway, this is Swiss Arabians Casablanca. Very good. But you know, it's like, huh, okay. Okay, now, let me just tell y'all what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to get in these comments and I need y'all to tell me about some great Middle Eastern fragrances I need to try. Tell me your favorites. Do you like Middle Eastern fragrances? What you got that I need to be trying? Don't be hiding nothing from me. You better tell me because I share with you. You should share with me. Get it in the comments. This is my favorite Swiss Arabian. This is Attar Oud. Now, I actually had the original Inara. It just didn't do nothing for me. I've heard that it's like kind of like a dupe for Coco Mademoiselle. I don't know. It might be, but it just was like, meh. So I got rid of it. But this one right here, I love. This is just this stunning oud. It has teakwood in it. It has a little rose in it. It's very deep and dark and mysterious, but it's not too oudy. The teakwood balances it out and gives it just this really gorgeous wood vibe that is unisex. Even though this is marketed to women, this is very unisex. Anybody could wear it. It's just this very swanky oud, very like lush, like you're going to be going to like a very highbrow event. You're going to be hanging out at, you know, the bar at the 5-star hotel, drinking craft cocktails, but you want to smell kind of different. You want to smell a little more exotic. We're in our oud. This is my latest one. I just got this one. This is Arij Al Shayla. This is a very spicy rose oud combination. It's got saffron. It's got, you know, the usual ones in it. The thing about this one is everyone talks about Sarah Al Shayla. Me being different, I saw this one and I was like, let me go on and get this. I'm just starting to wear it. It's actually very good. It's kind of a spicy, incensey rose oud combination. Very nice. I do have things similar to this. However, it's a good addition. And it's at a decent price. Now I might get Sarah Al Shayla just because now I've got this one. I'm like, dang, I should get that one too. You know how it is. All right, so that's my Swiss Arabians. Okay, so if the lighting looks a little different to you from what you just saw a second ago, it's because when I went to edit, yeah, so when I was filming this section, it was like the middle of the night. Things had happened. I had to stop filming, came back to it. It was about 12:30 in the morning. Well, apparently this particular section, I did some real excellent work, but I didn't record. When I hit record was when I was putting everything away and talking to myself and moving around and just, you know, doing whatever. So there was about 7 minutes of me just putzing around. So now I'm coming back this morning because I want this to be done, and I'm gonna finish it. So here is the next brand we're gonna talk about, and it's Rasasi. So Rasasi was founded in 1979 in Dubai by a famous businessman. That's what it says in Fragrantica. I don't know who the famous businessman was, but he is a famous businessman in Dubai. It's a family business, and they do different types of fragrances, both Western based and Middle Eastern based. So let's just talk about the very first one I got from them. And this is the Wokium line. I don't know how to say it. Rasasi does a lot of specific collections. So this is the LuuLuu collection, and they normally have a lot of times they'll have a feminine and a masculine part of the collection. Some of them are unisex, but the ones that are that lean feminine or masculine, they'll have a section of them both. This one is the LuuLuu one, and the first one I got was the Jasmine Wisp. Now, I'm not going to toot my own horn. I'm not even going to say that. But I know that when I found Jasmine Wisp, there was really nothing about it on YouTube. The reason why I noticed, because I searched, because, you know, at the time I was looking for reviews. I was looking to see what it was, because honestly, at that point, I couldn't even really find the notes of it. And I just wanted to find out something about it. So the only person, I think I only found 1 or 2 reviews of it, and it was Joy Amin, because of course he does a huge amount of Middle Eastern fragrance houses. So I found him talking about it, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna go and get it. So I'm saying that to say that when it comes down to the female fragcom side, I don't know how they all found out about it, because I found out about it through finding it on FragranceNet, and then looking at Joy Amin, and then, you know, I started talking about it. Take it the way you want to. I don't know if they got it from me or somebody watched me and mentioned it. I don't know how this wound up. But all of a sudden, Jasmine Wisp is very popular in female fragcom for a very good reason. Now, first off, these are stunningly packaged. Let me get the packaging. For the price, these are so stunningly packaged. They come in these wooden boxes with a magnetic top to them. These are just so beautiful. I mean, it's like I don't really need them, but I kept them. I was like, maybe one day I'll do something with them, because I have 3. I have a trio of them, and I just think they're stunning. Maybe I could find something to keep in here and have them lined up. Maybe my samples. That would be kind of cute. The samples I'm working on. I had a thought right there. Okay, so let's just go ahead and talk about Jasmine Wisp. Jasmine Wisp is very much like Herba Pura by Sergio and Kirky by Tiziana Terenzi. However, it is much more inexpensive, so it makes it easier to, you know, for everyone to have it. But this, I always say, is is an exotic, fruity floral. It is just it has this it just makes me feel like I'm in a tropical setting and I'm having a beautiful night, you know, dinner with my lover. It is very erotic. It is very seductive and sensual. It has grapefruit and lemon in it. It has passion fruit. It has white florals, coconut and peach. This thing is so beautiful. Everybody who gets it loves it. I've never seen anybody say that they really didn't like it, because this is just like this. This is one of those ultimate sexy fragrances for a woman. I'm just saying. I mean, it smells good on a man, but on a woman, it just exudes sexy. It exudes sensuality. So that is Jasmine Wisp. Then after I had that one, I said, well, let me try the other ones because this is so good. Now I have to be honest, I wasn't as impressed with these, but I'm gonna show them to you anyway. So let's talk about this one. This is the Perfumes edition. Now this one is similar to Black Orchid. It really does read like Black Orchid. And so for me, it's not the best ever. I'm just being honest. I'm like, okay, it's okay. But it does very much read like that. It's got incense in it, cinnamon, ylang ylang, pink pepper, sandalwood, milk, musk. I don't know why it smells like Black Orchid, but it does vibe like Black Orchid. But it has like this spiciness to it and kind of creamy milkiness to it. And yet there's the incense is strong. So I think I'm gonna keep trying this one to see if I like it, because right now the jury is still out on this one. I'm still going to this one. Okay, now here's the last one in this one, and this one is Orchid Prairie. Now, honestly, I find that sometimes it takes me a while to really appreciate a fragrance. So that's why I'm not as quick to declutter, because a lot of times I'm like, let me try it again. Let me try it again. And then I try it. And then again, like months later, and something about it captures me. Now, sometimes it don't. I'll be like, no, this shit stink. But sometimes it does. And that's what happened with Orchid Prairie. So Orchid Prairie is oody, and it's got musk, it's got coumarin in it. It's got rose. So it's got these floral notes, but really what it is like this oud, this sexy, woody, oody, just smells just intoxicating, because the coumarin and the amber, it just gives it this kind of spicy sweetness. And as you wear it, first you get a little kind of like floral oud. It's not necessarily rose, even though it is rose, but the rose isn't so prominent, but it's like a floral oud. And then as it keeps drying down, it becomes more beautiful and beautiful. So it's good in the beginning, but I love it as it dries down. And it also has a very seductive quality to it, because it has this mysteriousness about the fragrance. It's not like I'm not so well versed in perfume review that I can, break it down and talk about its balsamic and resinous. That's not what I get from it. I'm not that good with that. But what I do get is this provocative fragrance that, as I've started to wear it, is quite seductive. So that's Orchid Prairie. Then I found this collection, and I don't know why I wanted this collection. I don't think I've really heard anybody talking about these either. And I think that's what it is. Sometimes I'll be looking at Rasasis. I'll be like, ooh, there are some Rasasi. Because now there are some people who really do Rasasi. But for some reason, this particular collection isn't really talked about. So this is the Junoon collection. And so there's 3 in it. Now, the inspiration behind these, supposedly, because I read this up from when I did an actual review of all of these, is ancient fabrics, that are, still here today, and where they came from and whatever. So that's what it is. But this is Junoon satin. This is the Perfumes version. They do have the Pour Homme. I'm still debating if I want to try those. Anyway, this one is kind of a fruity, floral, ambery. Now, once again, this is very strong because this is Rasasi. This baby is strong, but it has apple on the top, so you get this zing of apple, and then it's got apples and berries. So I'm gonna read you the notes because it's hard to find the notes. I had to go on their site and get them. It has orchid, rose, jasmine, sambac, ylang ylang, tuberose, and lily of the valley. It is a bouquet of, just exotic, beautiful flowers. And then it has cedarwood, patchouli, sandalwood, frankincense, white musk, ambergris, and vanilla. So this is really long lasting, like all the Rasasis are. But what I get from it is I get that fruitiness in the beginning, and then I get this beautiful floral. None of them, like sometimes you get those that none of them really stand out, but they make a beautiful blend. It's a beautiful blend of florals. The woods in it, like the patchouli and the sandalwood, ground it down so it's not quite so overpoweringly fruity to floral. It gives it some base to sit on, and then it's still, as it's still on you, it still has a sweetness to it. You know, as you lose the fruit part, you get the sweetness from the amber and the vanilla, and you still have this beautiful kind of like ambery floral. So that is Rasasi's Janoon Satin. This is really good. All right. Next up is Janoon Velvet. Now these are, by the way, these are 50 mils. This is Janoon Velvet. I really like all of them. This one is spicy. It's spicy and incensey. Now, let me tell you what it's got in. It's got cloves, cinnamon, rose, blackcurrant, tomato leaf, vanilla, raspberry, leather, sandalwood, patchouli, incense, musk, amber, and benzoin. So it is really like in your face. It's incensey, it's leathery, it's spicy. It has this smoothness to it. You know how velvet is smooth? It has a little smoothness to it that makes it really interesting. This is definitely unisex. Like satin is definitely feminine, leans very feminine. Velvet is definitely unisex because it's got this kind of like leathery, incensey, just really exotic. You know, it has this really like smokiness to it. It has that smoke and leather vibe, and then the cinnamon gives it a spiciness. The florals are there, but they're just there as supporting actors in this beautiful fragrance. But yeah, this is Janoon Velvet. Beautiful. All right, then the last one in this collection. Okay, so the last one in this collection is Janoon Leather right here. Now this one has saffron and citrus in the beginning, and then it has patchouli, rose, musette, cedarwood, jasmine, a little amber, musk, leather, sandalwood, tobacco, tonka bean, and oud. So, oh man, the citrus gives it a really, but it's a deep citrus. You know, it's not like that sharp citrus. It's like a juicy citrus. Like if you had a citrusy fruit juice with a little bit of sugar in it, and it's got that spice from the saffron. This is so good. The oud is very mild. It's just very well blended. Doesn't stand out too much, but really what you get is the leather in here and the tobacco. Oh man, these are good. These are so good. Now what happens with this one is that it's a little more floral than, it leans a little more floral than the velvet, but it's still tougher than the velvet one. It's so interesting because they both have that leather note in it, and it's very prominent in both. But because of the other notes they put in, this tends to be a little more floral, but it's still kind of tougher because of the tobacco and the leather. And so what it becomes is this really kind of tough girl vibe. It's a very unique fragrance. This is for someone who's okay with wearing something that's beautiful, but isn't like what you would normally expect. You know, this isn't for the person who loves a good designer that is very likable and everything. This is a very stylish fragrance, but it has a plushness to it because they really do sit on your skin and surround you with this beautiful, fascinating fragrance. But it isn't for somebody, I would never say blind buy this one unless those are your vibes. Like if you love smoky, leathery kind of fragrances, this is beautiful. If you're thinking about that you want to try them, this is not it. This is the one for, okay, I like this type of thing. And it's very, it is very inviting and intoxicating in its own way. These are all stunning fragrances from this collection. They're all a little bit different. velvet and leather are more similar, but they still have enough different nuances that you can get all three of them and just be fine with them. So that is the Junoon collection from Rasasi. So those are my Rasasis. Let's go ahead and keep going on to the next collection. All right, next up is Lattafa. Let's talk about Lattafa. Lattafa is another brand that's out of the UAE, and it started in 2014, so it's only been around for 7 years. All right, so the one that got everybody hooked on Lattafa was Ragba right here. This is that sweet, incensey, vanilla oud. It stands alone. It's very inexpensive. It was the talk of like 2020, the 2019, 2020, the winter of when we was sitting at home, we started hitting that pandemic. Everybody was talking about Ragba because it has this, it's so inexpensive yet so good. But then I found this one, which is Ragba Wood Intense. I actually like this one a little more. The reason why is because it is exactly what it says. It is wood intense, right? Same DNA as Ra. Did I just stick that all up my nose? Did I just stick that all up my nose? Same DNA as Ragba, but now it's just a little more complex. It has caramel, it has the wood, it has licorice, it has incense still, sugar, a little amber, a little musk. So it's a little more intense. It really is. And the scent is more complex. This of the two of them, I prefer this one just because it's a little more interesting. You know, Ragba is good, don't get me wrong, but this has a little more, it's a little more extravagant on the skin. Now, the only thing I'll say is I think Ragba lasts a little bit longer than Wood Intense on the skin, but so what? They spray decants and keep them with you. All right, so then they came out with this one, which is Oud for Glory by LuuLuu. Now, if y'all don't know anything, if you don't know about Initio, but if you don't know about the brand Initio, this is a dupe of Oud for Greatness. And I mean, they duped it so hard. They made the bottle look about the same and everything. They was just wrong for that part, you know. They was like, yeah, we coming for you. But it is actually a dupe for it. This is another Oud, no rose. Smells very wonderful on the skin. It's a very sweet, spicy, saffron-y based oud. Everybody says these kind of things smell like BR540. It does not to me. It smells like a spicy oud that dries down and gets a little sweeter. So that's by LuuLuu, Oud for Glory. Then they came out with this one, which is Oud for Glory Amethyst. This one is different. You know, they made it a little purple. I forget which one they say this is supposed to be like. I think they say it's supposed to be like Psychedelic Love or Atomic Rose. I can't remember. I think it's Psychedelic Love. But anyway, this one has pink pepper and bergamot in it, Turkish and Bulgarian rose and jasmine, some oud, amber, and vanilla. Now I gotta be honest with you all. It's just a rose oud to me. It doesn't ring too much more than that. It's just very in your face, very strong rose oud, slightly ambery vanilla as it dries down, but the oud is real intense and the rose is real intense. So that's pretty much what I get out of this one. So this is LuuLuu Oud Amethyst. I'm gonna wear it again because maybe I'm missing some nuances to it. We'll see, but that's what all I get from it right now. So that is my Lattafa collection. So I thought I was done. I was like, okay, those are all my Middle Eastern fragrances. And I almost forgot this brand, a brand that I love, a brand that I have quite a few fragrances from, but tend to forget that it is Middle Eastern because when most of the time when people talk about Middle Eastern fragrances, they're talking about, you know, kind of inexpensive fragrances, and ain't nothing about this brand inexpensive. So if you don't know what I'm talking about Amouage. Amouage is not expensive. It's not is not cheap by any means. It is luxury. It was established in 1983 in Oman by the Sultan of Oman, who wanted to, from what I've read about it, he wanted to make sure he kept the traditions of Middle Eastern perfumery alive during that time. And they have been around all these years. Now, the thing about Amouage, Amouage is not the easiest brand to get into, because it's expensive. You can get some good prices on them, but they tend to be a little complex. Now, some of the women's brand side, which is what I have, I don't have any of the ones from the male side, are kind of straightforward, very beautiful, very lovely. But then other ones, ooh, they work you. They really do. So let's talk about my very first Amouage that got me started, got me in love, and I got a good deal on it, and that is Honor Woman. Oh, I always tell people, this is country club. This is trust fund, baby. This is just this perfect, stunning white floral to me. I was able to get the lotion and the fragrance. This is you making, you making money. This is about, matter of fact, this isn't about making money. This is about having money. This is for the trust fund babies. This is for when you are going out and you are showing that you are all class. And sometimes when we try to fake it, so it's either about being a trust fund baby, or if you faking it and making sure that everybody think you got that money, got them coins like that. That's when you pull out that honor. Honestly, this is for things like after 5 events. Very honestly, this is for formal events that I personally think of, or when those moments when I'm just being very, very elegant and highbrow. That's Honor Woman. Then after I got that, I kept hearing about this one, so I had to try it. And I have to be honest, when I first tried it, I was like, no. And then I wore it a few more times. And the thing about Amouage, sometimes you really do have to wear them a few times. And this is Sunshine Woman. This is a classic in frag com. Now, I know people talk about it for the summertime, but this is honestly, I could wear this all year round. This has this osmanthus apricot-y vibe to it. So it's kind of got this deep, rich apricot vibe to it, but it's a little bright. And everyone says it smells like kind of like an apricot pastry. I would have to agree. But then it has leather in it, so it gives it a little toughness to it, so it balances it out. The thing about Amouage is that they will hit you with 50,000 notes, and this is one of them. But it all comes together to create this really delicious fragrance. It's a very elegant and well-bred gourmand that is highly unlikely unless you smell something that's a dupe of Sunshine Woman, you really won't find anything else smelling like this. There's not like a genre that are similar to it. It stands alone. It is Sunshine Woman. Then I heard about these, so I had to get them. I haven't finished this collection. I still need one more, but I had heard, because y'all know I love tuberose. I'm a tuberose chick, and I heard about Love Tuberose right here. And the thing with Love Tuberose is that it's got this whipped cream. This is like this just sweet, delicious tuberose. Once again, these are very sophisticated fragrances. They are not just plain Janes and things like that. They have substance. And so this is, and they're very interesting, even when they're being lighthearted, because Love Tuberose is a very kind of lighthearted vibe. It's very sweet. It's got this whipped cream. It's got the tuberose, kind of bubblegummy, but yet still it is very swanky. It's something about the Amouages that make you feel like you need to be on your game when you're wearing one of the Amouages, because these are serious fragrances. These are serious. Then the next one I got was this one, and I'm still kind of struggling with this one. This is Journey Woman. Very similar to Sunshine Woman because they have the osmanthus, they have the apricot. This has honey in it. It's got tobacco and saffron. This is a really deep, this is a very winter appropriate, very cold weather appropriate, because this is just like rich, you know, and thick. It's got a rich thickness to it. Something about the honey is really syrupy, thick, sticky, and you still get the hints of the apricot, but it's not as strong as in Sunshine Woman. And there's, am I mistaken? There, so this is a little more woody, a little more, it really does take you on a journey, and I'm still deciding if I really like it that much. It's one of my most challenging Amouages that I own. All right, so then next up, let's talk about another one from the Love line, and this is Blossom Love. I wasn't liking this as much at first when I first got it, but then this is another one that took me a minute to really fall in love with, right? But it's a cherry blossom. But the thing about this is that it's got suede in it. It's got amaretto. So it's like a cherried amaretto vibe to it. And it's got tonka and suede. So this isn't for everybody. Like, but the cherry blossom, now this is cherry blossom, not cherry as in sour cherry, you know, sweet cherry. This is the blossom. So it's floral, but then they put this amaretto. So it's kind of like this cherry amaretto suede, and the suede gives it this deepness that you wouldn't expect, because it, like, the way it first starts out is kind of light. It's kind of flirtatious. It's got a romantic vibe to it, but the suede gives it this kind of toughness to it to make it even more glamorous than it was. Gives it a little, makes it more fascinating, because it's like, whoa, this isn't as, you know, pink and girly as you think it is. It's kind of got this little edge to it, which, you know, if you girly, you need to have an edge. And so that comes from Blossom Love. Then next up, I got this one. And this is another tough one. Now, this is not for everybody. I swear to y'all, this ain't for everybody, but it is gorgeous. First off, let's talk about that bottle. Look at that blue bottle. This is Interlude Woman. Now, this one is a chypre floral, and it is filled with all kinds of stuff. There's so many notes in it that it's ridiculous. But let me just say, the one thing that stands out to it, it's got a little ginger in it. It's got incense, honey, immortelle, coffee. I mean, this thing is loaded up. Then it's got oud in it, a little tonka, some amber, oak moss, leather. This is another one that will challenge you. It's very, what do I even want to say? It's very striking. And you have to really enjoy this fragrance. It's not for everybody. It's very rich. It stays on you. It has a journey. It is a very complex fragrance. It's stylish in its own way, but it's definitely something that you have to like this fragrance in order. You really just have to be really kind of one of those people who, this isn't for the like light and airy kind of girl. No, you have to be deep. You have to be kind of mysterious. Have to be a little edgy, but still posh, because there's a classiness about it. But you definitely have to be a type, because this is a vibe. The Interlude Woman is a vibe, and it's a vibe that says sophistication. And it's like one of those things, let me put it this way. It's like one of those fragrances, like, you know how there are those people who are like, they've tried everything and they need something a little different, a little more, because they're bored. This is one of those fragrances for that type of person. They're kind of bored because it's like, oh my God, you know, these people like everything smells the same, but they want something that takes them to a different space and makes them feel like, oh my God, this is so different. That is what Amouage Interlude Woman is. And now, so let's talk about the last two that I have, and this one. And this is an interesting one because I wanted it because I kept hearing about it, but I wasn't sure. And this is Lilac Love. This is powdery. It's got heliotrope. It's got lilac. So it's very floral. But then what it has, and it has chocolate. So it's kind of got this chocolatey vibe. So it's very floral, and it does have a lilac scent to it. So if you like the scent of lilacs in the springtime, it definitely has that lilac vibe. But it's powdery because it's got the heliotrope in it. But then it's got this chocolatey nuance to it from the cacao. And then it's got tonka bean and vanilla. So it's got this sweetness to it. It is a very sophisticated floral. This is definitely not a floral for everybody because, you know, like I always say, Amouage is not a fragrance house that's for everybody. Lilac Love is one of those two. It's very, to me, it's very romantic and very dreamy because it has this floral chocolatey vibe to it that works really well, because you would never think that you're going to get a fragrance that has cacao in it, which gives it this chocolatey vibe. It's got some patchouli in it too, so it really grounds and it really, you know, digs into the chocolatey vibe. So you wouldn't think that this would be good with the lilac and the heliotrope and, you know, some rose and peony and things like that, and gardenia. You wouldn't think this floral beauty would do well with these type of chocolatey, vanilla, sweet vibes, but they do. They work very well together. And to me, this is a very romantic fragrance. This is a very bewitching, because it'll draw you in and you're like, wow, that's really, really interesting and beautiful, but unexpected, because it takes this beautiful floral and gives it this chocolatey vibe, which is so not the norm. So that is Lilac Love. And then finally, I got this one. Now this one, I smelled it and I had to, and luckily somebody had it and was trying to get rid of it, and I was able to get it at a really good price, which really made my day. So yeah. And the bottle, of course, is stunning. I really love these bottles, and it just depends. This is Figment Woman right here. Now this is a tuberose, but it is a very interesting white floral tuberose. This is a white floral, very tuberose based. I promise you, I get a lot of compliments from this one, but it's so interesting. It's got a saffron pepper. It's got a spiciness to it from peppers and saffron. But then it's got all these white florals. It's got gardenia in it. It's got lily. It's got tuberose. It's got jasmine, a little orange blossom. Ooh, and then it's a little bourbon in it. I didn't even notice that, but it's got this incense in it and papyrus. So it has this kind of woodiness toward the end, you know, from the incense and the papyrus. But this is such a stunning floral. And the floral is so interesting, yet beautiful. Because when you smell it the first time, if you smell it out of the bottle, put it on some paper, you're going to be like, what the hell? But I promise it gets this, it's kind of got this spicy sweetness to it. And it's this beautiful white floral tuberose forward fragrance. I feel so glamorous when I wear this. I wore this a lot this summer. I had a decant of it that I really wore. I wore that out, baby. It's gone. Because I was drowning in Figment. I took this definitely went on vacations with me. And it was like, if I was going, oh, I'm gonna put this on. And it always got me compliments. And it was so interesting because I wasn't even thinking it would get me compliments based on the scent profile and how it you know, smell, but people be like, oh my God, what is that? It is very striking, very fascinating, and very head turning at the same time. So this is Figment Woman by Amouage. So now that is my Middle Eastern fragrance collection. Like I said, I had more than I thought, but not as many as, you know, I'm not overrun with them. That's it for my Middle Eastern fragrance collection. As always, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be free. Talk to you later.